My name is Jared Hutchinson, and today I'm going to be showing you how I created a unique fog light cover for my 2006 Subaru WRX. I didn't want to make alterations to the original part because I planned on reinstalling it for winter, so I decided to make a replica of it using products from Alumilite. Once I removed the fog light cover from the car, I built up a bed of synthetic modeling clay to act as the first half of the mold while we poured the second half. I made sure to get clay underneath all the undercuts and encapsulate all the tabs on the back side. Next, I smoothed out the other sides so I could add locators to ensure that both halves of the mold aligned correctly. To do this, I used a Sharpie to make small holes going around the part. Next, I used the corrugated plastic strips to construct my mold box. Once I had my mold box in place and tacked down, I used hot melt glue to seal it. Now it's time to mix up your Plat 55. It's best to degas before pouring to make sure you don't have any air bubbles in your silicone. If you don't have the option to degas, we recommend brushing on your first coat to avoid trapping any air bubbles against your part. Now slowly pour the silicone into the mold, allowing it to naturally flow over and around your part. After allowing it to cure overnight, you're ready to remove your base from your mold box. Make sure you don't tear apart your sides because you're going to need those when you pour the second half. Once you have the base removed, you can start removing the clay. Make sure you remove all the clay to ensure the two halves of the mold fit together properly. And once you have all the clay removed, take some rubbing alcohol and just quickly clean your mold to make sure there's a smooth surface for the second half. Once the first half of your mold is all clean, take Alumilite's rubber-to-rubber mold release and brush on 3 coats. This ensures that the two halves of your mold will not fuse together. Then mix up your silicone again and slowly pour. For once it's cured overnight, you can go ahead and disassemble your mold box and remove any flash. Sometimes the silicone will overflow and run down the sides of the mold. Simply take a knife or small screwdriver and just work your way around the seam. And once all the overflow is removed, you can go ahead and separate your two halves and remove your original. Now you have to carve out your sprue ports so you can pour the resin into the mold. I wanted my new part to have a dark charcoal color, so we used a little bit of black dye to color the resin. We first mixed up a small batch of RC3 with a little bit of black dye, just to pour the tabs. And then wiped away any excess to make sure the two halves of the mold fit back together correctly. Now we mix up the large batch using equal amounts of side A and side B, and then a little bit of dye for coloring. Be sure you mix thoroughly until there are no striations in the resin. Once you do that, you're ready to pour. And once the resin cures, you're ready to demold your part and remove any flash. I used Photoshop to create a little logo using my initials that we then had laser cut into the part. Some of the spots the laser didn't get all the way through, so I just took an X-Acto blade and finished the cut until I could pop it out with my fingers. Then I just sanded the edge to try to round it out a little bit. And then once I added the wire mesh in the back, I was ready to reinstall my new part. If you have any questions about your unique application or any of our products, feel free to call us at 1-800-447-9344.